Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm chatting today with Kat Nightingale, who is one of my clients and friend. Known Kat for about 3 years now, Kat, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Kat and I have mutual interests around the balance, the polarity of masculine and feminine within each of us. And as of late, we've been focusing a lot more on the masculine components, talking about purpose. And yeah, I just wanted to talk to Kat today and have her share her wisdom, what she's been uncovering in terms of purpose, where she was before, say, was it being a couple of months now, before this course, and where you are now, how you've come to understand your masculinity more as a result now, and how this is impacting various aspects of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So not that long ago, I guess like 2-3 months ago, and for a long time, I'd felt like I'd matured both my feminine and my masculine. I was in balance, all was good. I was offering my gifts out into the world in the form of tantra, and that was amazing. I did that for about 8 years, and I noticed that through that 8 years, I was just on a stable, even keel.
Mm.
So life was okay, but it wasn't going anywhere. And then that naturally came to an end for me, and I had to face all over again. Okay, where do I move from here? How actually at the time I didn't contemplate how am I masculine and feminine in balance here, but it was a case of coming to the realization that I'd kept myself small, and that with your input that I needed my masculine to really give me some focus, direction, clarity, boot up the arse, quite frankly.
Good.
That then in hindsight made me realize, oh my God, it was, I've been working on my feminine in particular because I'm a woman and I have a lot of feminine essence. But actually what I really needed is, in order to bring those feminine gifts to the world, was a heavy dose of masculine, or a maturing of my masculine to really come into that father role kind of behind me, pushing me forward all the time.
Yeah, I know what you're capable of. I'm going to make sure you do it, sort of thing, right?
Exactly.
Come on, kid, you can do better. Nice.
Yes.
I love all that. So it might be useful for us to, for the viewers, because I know there's a lot of confusion around this. What is your definition of masculine and feminine?
Okay, so I guess the first thing to say that's so important and so often forgotten when we talk about masculine and feminine is that everyone has both. Mm-hmm. Everyone has masculine and feminine inside of them. And it's a case of what particular ratio of each do you have in your being that naturally wants to be expressed. So there's like for me, I personally feel I have 80% feminine, 20% masculine, and that's fine. Whatever ratio you've got is fine. It's perfect for you, but you need to mature that 80% feminine so that it's running at full capacity, and mature that 20% masculine so it's running at full capacity, so that you can be the most balanced you that you can possibly be.
Gotcha.
I guess the other thing to say that's really controversial about masculine and feminine polarity is that the masculine is seen or is perceived to be more socially acceptable in terms of what we should be doing. We should have clarity and purpose and direction and blah. And the feminine is seen as less desirable, like having intuition and creativity is kind of cool, but not that necessary. And feminine versus masculine strength, the criticism is that the feminine is weak, and it's like, no, it's totally not. It's so powerful, but it's in a very different energy. It's like the waves of the ocean. It's that kind of raw power that's not directed and focused on achieving a certain goal. It's like it just emanates through the body and is way more powerful actually than the masculine. But you need that masculine strength because it's kind of like a sword, a well-honed sword that you know how to use.
I like the metaphor of the banks of the river. The river is powerful, the water flows and it can crash and all sorts of, it's a Bruce Lee thing, isn't it? But it's flowing everywhere chaotically unless the banks of the river, the order, the masculine is there to sort of give it space to splash around, you know, and to direct.
Exactly.
So two need to come together. Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's focus in on the masculine for a moment then. How would you define the masculine? Not in comparison. I know it's very difficult to not do it in with its opposites, so to speak. But what characteristics or what components of a person would you say masculine?
So things I've mentioned already about clarity, purpose, directionality, getting from A to B, protection, surrounding of the feminine, surrounding in of all structures, actually, family, community, nation, you know, it's that protection element.
Like the warriors at the gates with the spears, keeping the enemies at bay, sort of thing.
Yeah.
That way. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over
nice.
my dead body kind of energy.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. And where does testosterone play into your definition?
I think it's a chemical expression of that nature that is the masculine. So that for me is the explanation as to why most men have more masculine energy than feminine energy, because the hormones are an expression of that. Similarly for women, the estrogen and progesterone are a chemical expression of that femininity.
Indeed. All right. Okay. Like it. Very nice. So let's focus in on business then. So bringing that masculine without neglecting the feminine to business. It's obvious to me anyway, that to be goals oriented, to be direct driven, all these things, very traditional business stuff, right? And there's arguments that we should be stepping away from that a little bit. I don't agree with that personally. I think that we need to protect that capacity, but bring the feminine in more, not to replace or supplant, but to bring the feminine up in the business world some more, right? Yes. We need to be able to reach up to the vision, to the purpose. And I like to think the masculine is the net that captures all of the chaos, and with that builds a bigger platform, right?
Nice.
And the platform is there for the feminine to reach higher and higher and bring more creativity in, and then the capacity to expand on that platform gets greater with the more insight and inspiration that's coming in from the feminine, right?
Beautiful.
So love all that. So where would you see this interplay with you and your day-to-day when you're running your business? How does this masculine and feminine play together?
It's an ongoing project, so I'm not sure that I've got any clear answers yet. I guess I can talk about the fact that in my old mindset, I was so concerned about getting enough rest, getting enough sleep, getting enough time with my friends, that I had this kind of like, no, you will not impact me, work of mine, outside these hours or on these days, and that what has shifted 180 degrees now is I want to do this, you know, this. Yes, I still need to sleep and eat and rest and meditate and be with my friends, but it's all part of the same jigsaw. Whereas before I had things very separate. There's work life that I don't want to do, and the rest of my life that I do want to do. And obviously, I mean, I was passionate about what I did, so that those two areas were much more blurred than I'm expressing now. But that division only came into light once I'd integrated them.
Yeah. Okay. And that's a really nice segue into what the work is that you're focusing on at the moment. So what's the, what you're working on integrating masculine and feminine, right? Why would somebody want to do that?
Because it made sense. Because I think as human beings, part of our impulse is to learn, to grow, to evolve. So it meets that need. But beyond that, I feel in myself a desire to be the change I wish to see in the world. And I think that by integrating and maturing and bringing wisdom to our masculine and feminine, then we can effect that change that we want to see in the world so much more effectively, both in terms of how we hold ourselves, our family, our community, society, political systems, you know, it goes on and on and on. Yeah.
Totally agree. It's like helping people to grow up. And the thing I talk about a lot is eldership, right? You've seen me talking about that.
Yeah.
Right? Get people to become the elders of society that we need, because elders aren't really around so much true elders. We have just haven't been brought up that way. Our elders in our society weren't brought up to be this wise, courageous, well-developed people. There are those people, but they're few and far between in my experience. Yeah. So the work I'm doing is like a slice of that. I talk about purpose. I talk about stewarding resources being effective things. But what you're looking at is the broader picture. How do we grow up and be these effective adults, right? And that's awesome work. Thank you so much for doing it, Kat. And yeah, it's growing.
Hey, I love it. Couldn't do anything else.
Tell us a little bit about cat conversations before we
okay. So that's another expression of this desire to bring masculine and feminine together, but this time in conversations. So what I was noticing was that there was greater and greater polarity between people on various topics, and that once you'd chosen a side on one topic, that you were obliged to go all the way down that route and agree with everything that was in alignment with that, and not even consider the other side. And I had a bit of I was totally Jordan Petersoned about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
That got me onto a track of actively listening to people I disagreed with in order to find the points of agreement, or at least I can see where you're coming from. I might not agree with you, but I can see where you're coming from. And a big way for me to feed that need to get into that was through the Rubin Report. But they're in the States, and I was like, I want something like that in the UK. And eventually I was like, well, if I want that in the UK, then I'm going to have to make it in the UK. So that's the that's the inspiration behind it. And we've done 5-6 cat conversations now.
Nice.
And we started. Pardon?
Where can people find those?
On YouTube. If they look up Cat Nightingale on YouTube, then they'll find them there.
Nice. We'll post some comments below when the video goes up as well.
Also. Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Anything else you want to share on cat conversations?
Just that it's not there yet. Like, something that I'm really grateful to you, David, for is saying it's not perfect. That's fine. Just start. Just do it. So the conversations that I've had so far, I love them, but they're with people I know and people I agree with, and so they're very tame.
Right.
So far, and I'm wanting to have more conversations with people that I disagree with, and people who are, mighty intellectual minds in the world. So yeah, what you see is a great start, but it's not the end game. We're looking much further beyond what we've managed to achieve so far, awesome as it is.
Yeah, I'm really, really glad that you just got stuck in, started putting it out there, because it's not worth holding yourself back. There's so much you've got to share with the world. So thank you for doing it. Thank you for being brave enough to just get cracking with it.
You're welcome.
Yes. So, right, that'll be the end then, everybody. And thank you for watching. And we'll post the appropriate links into the comments below. Ask any questions. I'm sure both Kat and myself would be happy to chat to you all. So,
definitely.
Later.